The next thing that we are going to be looking at is we're going to be multiplying binomials and trinomials. We're going to walk through each one of these in the same way, the horizontal method. As a reminder, we cannot do FOIL on this because there aren't any inners and outers so easily to determine because there's more than the original setup. So we're going to do horizontal distribution, vertical method, and the grid method. I bet most of you are going to gravitate towards the horizontal or the grid method. So let's start with the horizontal method. It doesn't actually matter how you write your problem, but I'm going to carry it down the exact same way I see it. I'm leaving a little bit of space up on the top, folks, because I'm going to do arcs. So I would suggest you do the same thing. So x squared plus 2x minus 1, and I bring down the 3x plus 4 in a product. So I need to distribute something. It never matters which direction you distribute. So in fact, I'm going to distribute from here that way. And I'm going to go this way. I could do the x squared to 2 of those, and then the 2x to 2 of those, and that to 2 of those. The key is everything goes everywhere. So let's continue on. Like I said, I'm going to go the other direction. So I'm going to go 3x times the x squared, which gives me 3x cubed, because now I have x times x times x. Next, the 3x times the 2x. The 3x times the 2x gives me 6x and a square. And lastly, the 3x times a negative 1, which gives me a negative 3x. I'm going to repeat this process, this time with the 4. So the 4 times the x squared is plus 4x squared. 4 times the 2x is plus 8x. And lastly, 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Now we're going to combine like terms, and I notice that there's no other cube there. So I'm just going to write that one down below. Now I'm going to look for the next lowest, because I start with cubes, so I'm going to go to the next lowest, which is a square. And I notice I have a square here and a square there. So 6x squared plus 4x squared is positive 10x squared. Need to fix the cube there. That is indeed a cube. Now we're looking at my linear terms, which are the negative 3x and the positive 8x. So that's a positive 5x. And lastly, we have the minus 4, which combines with nothing. Now let's look at the grid method, and I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate to this one because it ends up being a little bit more clean to observe. Because I have a trinomial, which is 3, and a binomial, which is 2, I need a 2 by 3 grid, or a 3 by 2 grid, however you want to describe it. So my grid does, notice I'm leaving some space above and to the sides, because I need some room to write things. So I'm going to write the trinomial on top, x squared, 2x, negative 1. And I'm going to write the binomial along the side wall there. So now I begin my multiplication here. So 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Next, 4 times 2x is going to be 8x. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. And lastly, the 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. As a reminder, we're just looking for like terms. 3x cubed has no like terms. My quadratic terms here, the 4x squared and the 6x squared combined to be 10x squared. My linear terms here combine to be positive 5x, and my constant stays as is. We're going to compare that with the previous answer, and we notice, perfect, we get exactly the same thing. Now check your work on A here. And just to refresh what I didn't draw the arcs, I just did them. 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times 4x is plus positive 8x squared. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times 4x is 20x. And 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Combine my like terms to get this cubic polynomial. All right, so the last method we see here, we're going to set up vertically, and it looks like this. And then all we're going to do is start to multiply out. Remember that as I multiply out, I'm going to line up the like terms here. So I see that this 4 here multiplies that to get negative 4. This 4 here, 4 times 2x, multiplies there. You don't have to draw those arrows. I'm just drawing so that you can see what's going on. 8x here. And then 4 times the x squared is 4x squared, and I'll put a plus in between because that's a positive. For visuals, I'm going to get rid of those arrows just to show you that what I'm doing again. Now, this one's gone. I don't need to consider this anymore. So now the 3x gets sent to there, and that gets put underneath the linear right there. So notice that I'm not putting anything under the constant there. Next, 3x times 2x there is 6x squared. And lastly, the 3x there multiplies 3x cubed. And that's a positive 6x squared, so I do that. If you recall, we draw our line, and we're going to add or combine like terms. Here, since things are already lined up vertically, my cubic are here, my quadratic are here, linear there, constant there. It's already lined up, so all we have to do is just add down. All right, so in doing so, I get this, 3x to the third plus 10x squared plus 5x minus 4. And as I zoom out, I should notice that I have exactly the same answer as I got in the other ones. Each method is equally valid in terms of the end result. The last thing we're going to look at is at times, oftentimes you're going to see this even on benchmarks or standardized tests. I've seen this on SAT style questions here. Example E there. Where it's talking about the area of the green box. It's green for me, for you it's just shaded in. So we're looking at the area of this box right here. What would be the area if this here is 2x plus 4, and this here is 5x plus 2. Now, these other little grid things on the outside, that's just perspective. It's no different, actually, than the idea of the grid method here. That's why it's also called an area model, because it's as if this side here is 2x plus 4, and this side here is 5x plus 2. So if you were asked to find out the area of this, then all you do essentially is do area model or the grid method, same thing. So I'm going to draw in the squares here, or the rectangles, excuse me, just so that you can see that all we're doing is multiplying things out. So 2x times 5x, so 2x times 5x is 10x squared, so that goes there. And then the 4 times 5 is 20, x, 4 times 5x. Next, the 2x times the 2 is going to go here, and that's going to be 4x. And lastly, the 4 times the 2 goes inside there, and that would be an 8. We combine our like terms. These two are like terms. So we have 10x squared plus 24x plus 8. And let me see if there's a unit on this at all. It says, what is the area of the figure below? There's no unit. So I am going to write it as units. So I'm going to put parentheses around it and say units squared. I don't know if it's centimeters or what. And notice that I put it I put the trinomial in parentheses because this is the answer. 10x squared plus 24x plus 8. We don't like that answer because usually we like to just see, oh, it's 10 square centimeters. It's 100 square feet. We like that nice. This isn't nice. We have some variables in there, so we don't know the exact result in terms of concrete numbers. But this is the correct answer. All right, your turn. Go ahead and work on the try it right there. Go. And you can check your answer here. 14x squared plus 11x plus 2 for that previous one. And notice that I did add units squared to it just in case it had centimeters or something attached to that.